from the Ron Miller Race Car Studio, this is the Hammer Down Race.
There it goes. Welcome, race fans, to the Hammer Down Racing Report for June 11th. Show number 134. Live from the virtual Ron Miller Race Car Studio. And Ron was just asking me before we came on here when we're going to be back in our the actual Ron Miller Race Car Studio, and no updates on that yet. It still seems that the studios are not being occupied. So until then, we're virtually here. Virtually, kind of. If you want to be a sponsor of the Hammer Down Racing Report, you can join us, and you can be right here in this little thing that I always forget to start showing. There it is. Yep. Join Big D's Pizza there in Clyde. Mention the Hammer Down Race Report. Get to save 10% off your order. Dean over there doing a big motorsports fan and a big supporter as well. And coming up a little bit later on, of course, the How Many contest, your chance to win a Big D's Pizza. Also have to thank Ron Miller Race Cars, that guy right there. Wait.
Yay! That's me.
It's always backwards, yeah. Right there. Give them a call, 734-856-7223. Race car parts, safety equipment, everything a racer needs. Also, thanks to Attica Raceway, just north of Wasion. We're the fastest meet to race every Saturday night. And Kester Mowing. Give Steve Kester a call for all your lawn and landscaping needs, seeding, fertilizing, insect, weed control, and more. Give Steve a call, 419-466-3801. Tell him the Hammer Down Racing Report sent you. Tonight on the show, lots to cover. We actually had racing at two area tracks last weekend. Attica got its season kicked off, and Oakshade ran its second week. And there was...
wait, didn't Sandusky get a show in?
Oh, and Sandusky, I'm sorry, three tracks. Sandusky's been running. They've had a few shows as well. I'm sorry, guys. I forgot about you pavement guys. I apologize. Chris is going to kill me, isn't he? I don't want to be on his bad side.
Somebody already is.
I saw that. I want to know who it is. I'd
be willing to help.
Some promising news earlier this week. It sounded like we might have fans in the stands around here. Speaking of Chris, there he is.
Hi, Chris.
Yeah. But that has been changed, and now no fans. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. We'll have our weekend weather pit stop with WTOL meteorologist Ryan Wheatman coming up a little bit later. But right now, let's bring in our guest this week, the 2018 Attica 410 Sprint Car champion and feature winner this past Saturday night, Stuart Brubaker. Oh, I always forget there's a little countdown when I click on him, so I got to wait. There he is. Stuart Brubaker joining us on the show. How's it going?
Not too bad. How are you?
Pretty good. Now, tell us about that win Friday night at Attica.
I don't know. Everything just kind of went our way. I come in from qualifying, and I didn't think we'd even make the first two rows. I wasn't very happy, and ended up making the front row of the heat and won that, and was able to get into the redraw. And one of my guys, Ron, he went up and drew to the front row, and so that helped a bunch. And feature was fun. I actually got past there for a couple laps or something by Caleb, and some lap cars worked against me, and then they kind of worked for me to pass him back, and we took off from there and pull away.
Looked like you had a close call with an incident at one point.
Yeah, and turn two, somebody spun out there, and we all kind of went to the top, but it was a pretty close call for a minute.
Heard it was kind of a late night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had it rained a little bit early, and I don't think we got home till like 3 a.m, and we didn't get a whole lot done the next day. We were pretty tired.
I heard from some of the guys that had to travel a ways, and they said the sun was coming up when they got home.
Oh, I can believe that. Yeah, it was 2:30 before we pulled out of there, and thank goodness I'm only 35 minutes from Attica, so was able to get home and get in bed a little sooner than the rest.
Your hometown, you're from Fremont, right?
Hometown is Helena.
Okay. All right. Well, you're you're out that way.
I live in Fremont now.
Okay, give us a little bit of background on your racing career. How'd you get started, and how'd you get where you are now?
I used to. I went to school with a buddy. I don't know if you remember, Jason Curlis used to run 360s.
Name sounds familiar.
Yeah, so one day we're in school, and I just said, "Hey, you need some help?" And I think I helped him for 3 or 4 years. And then I ended up buying a 305. Craig Mintz was getting out of 305s, I think, at the time. And I bought some of his stuff and started running 305s. Never raced anything in my life and decided to try to do it. And here we are today.
How many years you been running the 410 then?
I think this will be the 5th year.
Okay.
Run 305s for quite a few years, actually too long, really. And then we switched over to the 410s and started off a little bit slow, and then seemed to get a little bit better for running around Ohio. Haven't been too bad the last couple of years.
What's the biggest difference between the 305s and 410s?
Just the horsepower, how a 410 gets on the back tires so hard compared to a 305. If you get a car too tight in a 410, you just wheelie. A 305, you can just give it more wheel and still stay in the gas. 410 just flies the front end all the time. So it took a little while, actually, to get used to that, and the setup is quite a bit different.
Now, we've asked other people that the difference between the two, the most common answer we get is usually money. The cost a little bit more for the 410.
That is a huge difference. Yeah, that's a big difference. It rebuilds every 20 nights.
You got some good sponsors that help you out with all those costs?
Yeah, we do. We have Pit Stop and Tiffin. They help quite a bit. Dave Story Equipment, SRM Construction, Gary Holland, KS Sales and Service, Fremont Fence, Finish Line Fuel, Handy Graphics. If it wasn't for all them guys, and I'm sure I'm missing a few, you can't do it without them. We went out to I-55 at Peevely to run with the Outlaws a couple weeks ago, and my sponsors got us tires and paid the cost to go out there. So, I mean, if it wasn't for all them guys to help and pitch in, this couldn't be possible.
How did you go out there, Stuart?
Well, there were 62 cars, and we didn't make the show, but I thought we had a pretty good showing for owning my own team. We went out there, and we missed it on setup and gear the first night, learned quite a bit, won the non-qualifiers race, had to tag the back of the heat. I think I was the only non-outlaw car in the heat. Started last, so we didn't make it out of there. And then Saturday night we come back with a better game plan. We went 14th quick overall out of 62 cars.
Very respectable.
Yeah, and then we went 13th quick in our flight, which still started me 7th in the heat race. So the format was very tough. Won the C main, or Rush, excuse me. I run second in the C main, made it to the back of the B, and didn't make the show either night. But it seemed like every time you hit the track with those guys, you learned something. And I think we learned enough. We come home and was able to put that into Friday. We knocked the rust off out there, and seemed like we could put some pretty good laps together Friday.
So was that your first time racing then when you went out there?
This year?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, that's what I meant. This year. It's been kind of a weird year as far as race. Were there fans out there for that event?
Yes, there was. Limited fans. So that made it pretty cool. And just had a good time. I knew we weren't doing nothing around here, and Peevely's always been on a bucket list track for me, and seemed like it was the right opportunity to go out and do something since we weren't racing around home.
So how weird was it Friday night, getting that win and then, getting out of the car and no fans are there?
I had to think twice. I got out of the car and I was going to go up and stand on top of the wing or the fuel tank, and I kind of looked up and I'm like, oh yeah, nobody's here. So I just walked over in front of the car and grabbed the checkered flag and talked to Brian Lisk guy about how the night went. But definitely different. Definitely give you something to talk to your grandkids about, or something at some point in life of being a part of that moment.
Started the feature on the parade lap. You always give the fans a wave, and then you stop and think, why am I doing this?
Yeah, that was really weird. Brian or whoever, I forget who's on the radio, they said wave lap. I think Rex is on the radio, and I thought about it for a minute because I just about stuck my hand out of the side of the car, and I'm like, yeah, there's no reason to do that tonight.
No.
Well, it was on Dirt Vision, wasn't it? So, I mean, you had a TV audience.
Yep. I hope everybody enjoyed it, and hope a lot of people logged in to help support Attica.
So you run Fremont and Attica a lot. You've run a lot of other tracks. Do you have a favorite track that you've run?
Attica seems to be my favorite. For some reason, I like Attica. Sometimes we struggle at Fremont. Sometimes you never know what you're going to get at Fremont. Attica is just really consistent. I don't make it to Sharon much, just Speed Week usually and stuff, but that place is awesome to race at also.
Now, I read that you made a chassis switch last year when you were trying to defend, your championship at Attica from the year before. Tell us about that.
I think last year was the worst year I've ever had racing. So I think we have 4 cars, and I was in every one of them trying to get something figured out at one time. And we were on triple X's, and then we put a max together. We went out and won with that. Run it a couple nights, and then we switched back to triple X's. So that's what we're back on this year, because I didn't want to have just one different car. So we're back on triple X's this year. Learned some things from last year, a lot of things not to do. And it seemed like this year car is rolling pretty good right now.
So what are your plans? I know things kind of are real fluid right now, but what are your plans for the rest of this year as far as racing goes?
As of right now, it's hard to go to. We only have one motor and smaller team, so we go from night to night. But we'll run Fremont Attica, and hopefully there's a points fun, or hopefully we can add some races here at the end of the year. And we'll do Speed Week. If Speed Week, presents itself, we'll try to run most of that, and do some hit and miss stuff, but mainly just be Fremont and Attica.
Now, if it wasn't such a weird year with the pandemic and everything, would that still be your plans, or were there other tracks that maybe you're thinking about going to this year?
No, that would be our plans. We would just do Eldora, like probably twice, like we normally do, Fremont, Attica, and then run the Speed Week deal. We have it made pretty well. I'm 15 minutes from Fremont, 35 minutes from Attica. They both pay $3,000 to win, and then you got that AFCS deal that pays $10,000 to win points, and it's hard. It makes it hard to leave home.
Well, I think that's the point of it. But Dwayne does a good job with that Attica Fremont Championship Series. I feel bad that so many of those races have been canceled this year so far. Uh-oh.
How's your success been at the Doty?
I think we lost him.
Oh no,
he disappeared.
Come back, Stuart.
Hopefully we can get Stuart Brubaker back again, the 2018 champion at Attica Raceway and feature winner, as a matter of fact, this past Friday night. Off to a good start, trying to maybe get the 2020 championship. We'll see if he pops back in here.
And hello to all of our friends that have been saying hi in the comments.
Yeah, we haven't been ignoring you. Well, I guess we kind of have, but
hello.
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull him back in here. Oh wait, here he's coming back. Well, it says he's there, but I don't see him. There he is. 3, 2, 1. Hey, we got you back. I think.
Yeah, kick me off.
What were you going to ask
you
him?
still there?
Yeah, we're here. Ron was.
I was just
trying to
I was just going to ask Stu how he usually fares at the Doty. That's a big race, and I think it's still on schedule for this year.
Yeah, that's a very awesome race. Very, very tough competition. Usually mid 50, 60 cars. Hoping to make the show this year and see what we can do to hopefully we can get up front. But that outlaw format's so hard. It's all about qualifying, and they line straight up. So they kind of favorite their own, and sometimes it's hard to get timed in with them guys.
So what's the biggest win of your career?
Some 305 stuff. We won Engine Builders Challenge and stuff there, and then won 3 in a row at Attica. That was pretty cool. Back when I raced for Burmeisters, that put icing on the cake. It was pretty neat to come out 3 nights in a row, and we have some pretty good competition around Fremont and Attica, so it was fun.
We were talking a little bit earlier. Oh, go ahead.
I just got to thank, all the guys and stuff that put this together this winter, Ron and Chad. And Brendan's not with us. He got a call from the World Outlaws from the Shark Racing, and he just left us after Peebly, actually. But I need to thank him, too. They put a lot of time and effort into the shop this winter.
Now, we were talking a little bit about your number and about how the guy here in the middle screen is a big fan of that number. How'd you where'd the 35 come from on your 410?
Oh, actually, we were a couple numbers to start with, and then we were in the shop one night, and there's nothing that goes behind it. We were just in the shop drinking beer one night, and the guy said, "Hey, 35." So that's what we put on it, and it stuck.
They probably saw Ron racing at some point in time. It was subconscious.
Probably about 40, 50 years ago,
I'm
right?
Sure.
So what's your long-term racing goal? I mean, you plan to be running 410s for the next foreseeable future? Or any plans to do anything else?
No, not really. I think we're just going to run 410 stuff for the next couple of years and see where that goes, and that'll probably be about it.
All right, and running for the championship again this year, right?
Yeah, we're going to try to run for Attica for sure. Not real sure about Fremont. I would like to, if some outlaw shows and all-star shows on Saturday night were within 3 hours from home, I would like to go do those. Any
aspirations to ever run, a full season, run with the All-Stars or the World of Outlaws?
Oh, that would be great to go on the road with the All-Stars. It's just so hard to get a ride anymore. It doesn't go off talent. It don't seem like anymore. It just goes off of how big your checkbook is. So it would be great. I would love to do it. It's like I said, just hard to get a ride, and I would go out on the road for a year or two if I could. But right now we're still plugging away in our own stuff and running at home.
Well, like you said, there's a lot of incentive to stick around home there with the Attica Fremont Championship Series and both just the regular races there at Attica and Fremont. Yeah,
if you win some races and win them championships, I mean, you can about pay for your year and most of your winter to get stuff rebuilt. So it's a great thing that we have going around here, and we got to thank everybody for that. That everybody's got things going that way in our Ohio racing here, and it's hard to leave.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but most of the time, it's probably 90%. Whenever we have a racer on as a guest on our show, the next night out that they're running, they tend to win. So good luck tomorrow night at Attica and bring home another checkered.
And we'll be counting on you. got to keep our record intact.
Yeah, you got to make us look good too.
Hey, we'll try to do our best.
All right, man. We
So
appreciate.
it's all about Scott and I. You've got to understand that.
Yeah.
It's all. Well, I hope the theory's right, so we can get another checkered this week.
All right,
It's
Stuart.
been working well.
We appreciate the time, and like I said, good luck tomorrow night and the rest of the season, whatever that looks like. Hopefully, Fremont gets going here in the not too distant future.
Yeah, I think so. I think they'll get going. I think we're going to go to Wayne County on Saturday. That they're supposed to have fans, so hopefully we have a good night tomorrow and head over to Wayne County Saturday.
All right. Well, good luck to you.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Stuart Brubaker, once again, your 2018 Attica Raceway Park champion and feature winner from
Last weekend.
Friday night, yeah, and tomorrow night. I'm predicting this already.
Watch, no question about it.
Chris
He was
Mize,
here.
Chris Mize wants to be on the show so he can win against the state. That's oh. I don't know. I think it only works for racers. I'm not sure though.
I don't know.
Oh wait, here's another comment from Chris. That's for you, Ron.
Yeah, I saw that.
For those of you listening on iHeartRadio and cannot see the comment there, it's Chris says, "Wonder if Ron ran 35 on the horse and buggy days."
I was so poor I couldn't afford a buggy.
That's a new class? Was it a different class? The horse and buggy class? Was that like the beginner class, or was that like the main event?
The horse and buggy deal, that was like NASCAR back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. How about we talk about some other racing action from this past weekend? We mentioned Attica Raceway Park was in action for the first time this year. And after a rain delay, that pushed back the night's event somewhat substantially, I guess, from the sound of things. Of course, Stuart Brubaker held off Trey Jacobs and Caleb Griffith for the 410 sprint win. Buddy Kofoid, former guest on the show, finished fourth. Logan Arndt beat Matt Irie by 0.049 seconds in the late model feature there. And Seth Snyder started on the pole. 305 feature led the entire way for his first ever Attica feature win. Oakshade Raceway in action for the second week in a row with no fans last weekend. Rusty Schlenk, again for the second week in a row, picked up the easy late model victory. Rusty Smith also making it two in a row in the sportsman class. 2 feature wins for him. He was busy tonight. We were going to see if we could get him on the show tonight, but he had meetings on Thursdays. Interesting stuff in the Bomber A main. I think I saw Conover was
Tim was here.
Yeah, I thought I saw him there. He had Jordan had well, how about we'll just go on here. Colin Schilt came up just short of crossing the finish line with Jordan Conover beating him by a nose. You see the video on that at all? It was a pretty good race.
I saw the video and I watched the very end of it. You were busy at the time, but
I was busy. Spinning out or loading or something. It was not a good race. We're not going to talk about that.
Tim Conover, if you're still here, let us know if you're going to be back this week. I've heard rumors.
So apparently Jordan Conover's car didn't pass the post-race inspection, so that awarded the win to Schilt for that. And I guess there was some more to that whole thing, but that's not for this forum, we'll say. Cameron Tusing was another second consecutive week winner. He won the compact feature, and Jarrett Rundell was the Bomber B main winner. Sandusky Speedway back in action again as well. I forgot. I'm sorry again, Chris. Headliner was most likely the Chariots races. The Chariots were ahead of the horse and buggies. Okay.
Yeah. My fan club's being really kind to me tonight.
The Sandusky guys are loving you.
So somewhere I'm going to get even. They need to know that.
Mule and Buggy was the beginner class, according to Chris Mize there. Nevaeh Rusica won her second beginner stock feature in a row. There's a lot of repeat winners this past week. Dan Smith won the Renegades feature at Sandusky Speedway. Kyle Lawson took the checkered flag in the Pure Stock feature, and TJ Steinman was the winner of the CRS Truck Series feature at Sandusky Speedway. Eldora Speedway was in action, also with no fans, but streaming. It was the Dirt Late Model Stream. Kyle Strickler, he was an alternate to make the Dirt Late Model Stream Invitational, and ended up being the feature winner on Thursday night. I wrote Friday night here, but I remember watching that. That was Thursday night. Pretty impressive win there. Brandon Overton was Friday night's feature winner, and Tim McCready survived a green-white checkered finish on Saturday to win the $50,000 main event. Bobby Pierce took second in a heavily beat-up car. Rusty Schlenk was down there for the first two nights. And
did you see pictures? Did you see pictures of Pierce's car?
I did. I was like that.
I thought it was a horrendous wreck, and they towed it off.
Yeah,
he finished that way.
Kind of what the back end. He used up the back end, but wasn't Pierce. He ran the truck race a couple times and kind of used the back
up
end.
Some back end. Yeah. That's just.
And finished second. He seems to finish second a lot. So tough break there for the smooth operator.
Did you notice that Tim Conover said watch for them at Oakshade Saturday?
Look for Saturday. Okay. I don't know if that's good or bad because he was pretty fast. So I like it when there's slower cars that I have to race with. That's just me, though. I know you like to race with the best of the best, right?
If you only race with the slowest cars, Scott, that's all the better you're ever going to be.
Well, first I got to beat them. Once I beat them, then we'll take the, steps.
But you've done that.
Baby steps.
You've won a boatload of B mains. Now you got to win your A main.
I thought I'd won one.
That's a boat.
Boatload of C mains, but all right. World of Outlaws. They were in action. Brad Sweet won a thriller in the opening night of the Beaver Dam Bash on Friday. Saturday, Sweet made it a clean sweep, picking up Saturday night's win as well. Next up for the World of Outlaws is the Brunel's Big Guns Bash at Knoxville Raceway, Knoxville, Iowa. That is coming up June 12th and 13th. That's tomorrow. Tomorrow on Saturday. Excuse me. Allie's Bargain Outlet. Allie's Bargain Outlet All-Star Circuit Champions. They've been busy. They make me tired. I mean, I got there's a lot going on with them, and they didn't even race Tuesday night. But let's go back to Red Dirt Raceway. When was that? I think that was Friday. Aaron Reitzel was the winner there. He fought hard to earn his fourth All-Star win of the season. Kyle Larson finished second. Mother Nature rushed out Saturday's action at Outlaw Motor Speedway until Tuesday, supposedly. Larson led the entire distance on Sunday at 81 Speedway. Then he made it two in a row at Lawton Speedway in Oklahoma on Monday night. It was his third All-Star win of the season. The rescheduled Outlaw Speedway for Tuesday night was canceled because of high winds. Something you don't hear too often. Wednesday, Devil's Bowl Speedway in Texas. Kyle Larson again. He continued his dominance in the Thunder Through the Plains tour with yet another win.
Looks like Kyle Larson has found his niche again.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's trying to prove. Maybe he's trying to prove something. I don't know. Does he have anything to prove?
Just maybe.
All-Stars in action tonight at Southern Oklahoma Speedway, Monarch Motor Speedway in Texas on Friday, Lone Star Speedway on Saturday, Chatham Speedway in Louisiana on Sunday. So it's been a busy stretch for the All-Stars, making up for some lost time there. NASCAR was in action with the daring pass outside on an overtime restart. Grant Infinger stole the victory in Saturday's NASCAR Gander RV and Outdoor Truck Series race at Atlanta Motor Speedway, from home state favorite Austin Hill. AJ Allmendinger won Saturday's Xfinity race, the Echo Park 250 at Atlanta. It was his first oval track win. And Kevin Harvick had a dominating victory in the Cup Series Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 at Atlanta on Sunday. Martinsville last night. Did you watch any of that?
A little bit.
A little bit. Okay. First time under the lights at Martinsville, and first time without fans, so a couple of firsts there. And it looked pretty cool under lights. It was a pretty decent race.
Yeah.
Martin Truex was the winner of that. There was no real big feuds or anything. I was kind of disappointed in that. Nobody really was mad.
No, it looks like they were really playing nice. I don't know.
Yeah. Next up is the Dixie Vodka 400. That's coming up this weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway at 3:30 on Fox. And you can also listen to it on our iHeart radio station, Buckeye Country, 103.7 CKY. That's on Sunday. Xfinity race will be the Hooters 250 on Saturday. That's at 3:30, also on Fox. And the trucks also racing this weekend at Homestead Saturday night at 7:30 on FS1. And I believe there's going to be fans there on Sunday. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit, too. IndyCar was in action. They had their opener. Do you know that, Ron?
No, I think I missed that one.
Well, it was Saturday night. You were probably busy. Scott Dixon dominated the NTT IndyCar Series opener at Texas Motor Speedway. They are off until July 4th, 4th of July weekend, that doubleheader with NASCAR. They're going to be racing the GMR IndyCar Grand Prix at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course. So, and I got some more news as it relates to Tony Stewart on that coming up here in just a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. Before we get to that, shout out to Taylor Cook, who won the open-wheeled modified feature of 401 Speedway in Tennessee over the weekend. Congratulations to him, former guest.
Yay, Taylor.
Yeah. We usually see him Summer Nationals modified time. I'm not sure what's going on with the have you heard anything about the Summer Nationals this year?
That they're going to happen. That's all I know, but
Okay.
they've certainly been delayed. This is the first weekend for UMP points.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah.
So Attica Raceway Park, as we mentioned earlier, was the first area track to announce on Monday that they would be allowed to have fans. And then Wednesday, they announced the health department contacted them to tell them they couldn't sell general admission tickets. So, as I said, things change daily, and they could change tomorrow. Who knows? But for now, no fans at Attica Raceway Park, unfortunately, but they are selling pit passes, $30. Did you hear about Ace Speedway in North Carolina, Ron? This was pretty fun.
Yeah.
They have.
Are they? The last I heard, they were still planning on running this week.
They have been shut down after the state cited that the track. They cited that the track is an imminent hazard for the spread of COVID-19. The track has had races the past 3 weekends, including this past weekend, which was held as a, quote, peaceful protest of injustice and inequality everywhere. And apparently the state wasn't having any of that, wasn't buying it. And I think just this afternoon they had a thing where basically they're still shut down this weekend. Or it wasn't a cease and desist. It was a like a restraining order or something. So, yeah, Ace Speedway. I guess that's what happens when you decide to go against the order of the state. And this is probably why the tracks around here are not going to be doing that, because they don't want to be ordered closed, like Chris Mize says there. So, trying to find loopholes. Sometimes it works, sometimes not. Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series will return to action this weekend with fans in the stands for the first time since February. The duo of races will get underway on Friday, June 12th, that's tomorrow, at Cherokee Speedway in South Carolina for the 22nd annual Grassy Smith Memorial. $12,000 to win feature for that. Saturday, they'll be at Smoky Mountain Speedway for the Mountain Moonshine Classic, paying $15,000 to win. And you had some news about the Lucas Oil Late Model Series.
Yeah, I did. The Speed Weeks next year, typically held in Georgia and Florida. Speed Weeks is going to kick off Golden Isles. They've got 2 shows there plus a practice date. East Bay, they head to East Bay after Golden Isles. 6 shows there plus practice. Then they head off to Bubba Raceway for 2 shows. And then Alltech Speedway, which is new to the winter tour in Lake City, they've got 3 races there. So there's 13 races and 3 practice days between January 22nd and February 6th. So a lot of racing for the Lucas Oil gang. early next winter, early next year.
Well, yeah. I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
Indianapolis Motor Speedway and NTT IndyCar Series owner Roger Penske is determined to hold the Indianapolis 500 this year with fans in the grandstands. It'll be the 104th running of the greatest spectacle in racing, scheduled right now for August 23rd. And he is so determined, he says, that if fans won't be allowed in the grandstands, that the race will not happen. So I don't know.
That has a huge economic impact on the state of Indiana. So I'm sure they're going to look seriously at that.
Well, and it's going to have an impact, I think, no matter what, because even if they do have fans, it's probably not going to be a full capacity kind of deal. They may be, you can only have 50% capacity or something, which is still,
I don't know.
Still could be a pretty good impact to the economy, but it's going to be half as good as it could be.
Yeah, only 150,000 instead of 300.
Yeah. According to an AP report, Tony Stewart no longer plans to enter the NASCAR Xfinity Series Pennzoil 150 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course on July 4th. I don't know if you remember, I think it was February we're reporting he was making a comeback. His first time back in NASCAR, going to run that Xfinity race. And I think it's the first time since 2016 for him. But apparently, since there's not going to be any fans, and the logistics with I guess all the restrictions on the teams and how they're only at the track for one day as opposed to a whole weekend, that it was just too much of a fiasco, and really he was doing it for the fans. He wanted to do it.
Tony said he wasn't interested.
Hometown crowd. So yeah, it's just it's not going to work out. I don't know if he's not interested, but I just think that it's not working out the way he wanted it.
Not this time.
Yeah. So maybe next year. Bubba Wallace has been in the news quite a bit this week. He fainted a couple times after Sunday's Atlanta race and appears to be okay. Well, he ran last night and was fine. He then voiced his opinion on the Confederate flag in an interview Monday night on CNN. Wallace stated, quote, "No one should feel uncomfortable when they come to a NASCAR race. So it starts with the Confederate flags. Get them out of here. They have no place for them," unquote. Tuesday, it was revealed NASCAR was actively considering a change to its Confederate flag policy, according to NASCAR journalist Adam Stern. And then yesterday, of course, they made the big announcement issuing this statement. NASCAR issued this statement. Quote, "The presence of the Confederate flag at NASCAR events runs contrary to our commitment to providing a welcoming and inclusive environment for all fans, our competitors, and our industry. Bringing people together around a love for racing and the community that it creates is what makes our fans and sport special. The display of the Confederate flag will be prohibited from all NASCAR events and properties," unquote.
Two quick observations. NASCAR just alienated probably the largest portion of their fan base, and obviously Bubba and a fair amount of NASCAR fans view that flag differently.
I just view it as the top of the general league.
I'm out.
It's probably best. NASCAR earlier this week announced its plan to reintroduce guests at select NASCAR Cup Series races, beginning with this weekend's Dixie Vodka 400 at Homestead Miami Speedway on Sunday, and the Geico 500 at Talladega next Sunday. All guests in attendance will be screened before entering, required to wear face coverings, mandated to social distance at 6 feet, and will not have access to the infield, among other revised operational protocols. So NASCAR's trying to get fans in the stands, and yeah. So, and also last week we mentioned NASCAR had released the updated race schedule from the end of June through August, and I had the proposed schedule that they had given to the race teams before making it public, which was a little different than what they released. Yeah, because what I had the MIS races in August. This ends before that. So the MIS races in August still up for grabs. Up for debate. I don't know what the word is. It may or may not happen.
Probably depends on how the recall petition goes for our governor up here.
So the schedule as it stands now, we got Pocono, Indy, Kentucky, Charlotte, Texas, Kansas, and the schedule ends Sunday, August 2nd at New Hampshire. That's as far out as they've gotten so far. The schedule doesn't actually end there, but that's as far as they've confirmed New Hampshire at or the Cup Series at New Hampshire on Sunday, August 2nd. So, and there's Xfinity and Gander races or truck races, ARCA Menard Series in action. Speaking of ARCA Menard Series, ARCA Menards East will be in action at Toledo Speedway this weekend.
Yep, without any fans.
Yeah.
And I believe that's because of the ARCA affiliation or ownership by NASCAR, and NASCAR has that no fans policy in place right now.
Yeah, and I think that this was kind of put together a few weeks ago too, before some of the tracks have been allowing fans. So I did speak with some. Never mind. How about we play How Many?
No. I just want to. I want to encourage all the racers going to your local track this weekend to invite a few fans to go along with you. I know a lot of the fans are really anxious to get back to the track, and what better way to do it than to be affiliated with a race car? So, all the racers that are out there, please invite any fans that you have to join you at the track.
Pit passes are being sold.
Yes, they are.
And I don't think they're going to be turning people away. I don't think so, but there you go.
If you're with a car, I believe you're okay.
And maybe
all you have to do is say I'm with Ron Miller, and
there you go. You can
I'll verify. Or Scott Hammer, and either one of us will verify it.
Or Jordan Conover, apparently.
Right.
So let's do How Many? A chance to win a Big D's pizza. Big D's over there in Clyde, and then we'll get to the upcoming races this weekend and our weekend weather pit stop with Ryan Weekman. Spoiler alert, it's looking pretty good.
Finally.
So last week's How Many was how many 410s were going to be at Attica on Friday, and the correct number was 53. Ron, that makes you the winner. That doesn't happen very often. You said 41, but you had the highest amount for those of us here.
In-studio guests.
Yes. So good job. Congratulations.
Thank you. I knew it'd be good. I just didn't think it'd be that good.
Our online winner was Doug Carr. He guessed 43. So he was
all right.
At the highest guess.
Congratulations, Doug.
So Doug, get with Dean Henry, and he'll hook you up with that Big D's pizza. You just got to go to Clyde to pick it up. So
and it's worth the trip.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Ask John Young. He's had several of them. This week's How Many? This week's How Many is how many ARCA Menards East drivers will start Saturday's race at Toledo?
Ooh.
I saw a preliminary entry list the other day, and there weren't too many names on. But I don't know how many. I don't know if there's a lot more that just weren't on that list or what. So I'll go with go ahead and you guess first. And also you can guess online. Just go ahead and put your guess in the comments of our Facebook Live here as to how many cars you think is going to be there. Whoever's closest or whoever guesses the right number first online will win a Big D's pizza next week. We'll reveal that winner next week.
I know their fields have been a little bit limited watching them on TV. I'm going to be optimistic and say 23.
23. All right. Is Kathy around for a guest this week?
Unless she checks in. No, actually, she's down in Florida right now. I'm batching it for a couple of weeks.
Nice. All right.
I got to fix my own.
I'm going to go with 22 then.
Oh, yeah. Nice shot, Scott.
Undercut you there.
Cheap shot.
Yeah, look at John Young. He chose your number, 35.
All right.
So, again, a chance to win a Big D's pizza. Just go ahead and put your guess in there. We'll find out how many cars will start the race on Saturday at Toledo.
I had to look closer at Dean Henry. Boy, that's
10. I think the list that I saw had between 10 and 15 names on it, but it was a preliminary list, I believe.
Right.
So, and I remember when we talked to Charlie, I don't know if it might have been one of the weeks you were off. We talked to Charlie about
I listened.
Having the ARCA Menards East series as opposed to the ARCA Menards proper series, as has been in years past, and what drivers would show up. Hey, my dad actually guessed. He never guesses. My dad wants some pizza.
Oh, right.
But he was saying that a lot of the regular ARCA Menards guys would usually run the East as well. So
Well, and the rules are similar, rules packages. So the East and West and Menard series could all be here. So depends on how anxious some of the guys are to race.
absolutely. So let's talk about some racing action this weekend on tap at Attica Raceway Park. It's Construction Equipment and Supply Venture Visionary Partners Night. 410s, 305s, and the late models in action. Gates open at 4:30. Racing at 7:45. Again, no pits.
No pits. Oh no!
Only spectators.
Scott,
no pits.
We're in trouble, Scott.
No spectators, only pit passes. $30 pit pass there at Attica Raceway Park. It's tomorrow night. Weather's looking good again. We'll have Ryan Weekman on here in just a second. Tomorrow night, or Saturday night, I should say, June 13th, Toledo Speedway. It's the Hers Potato Chips 200 presented by Federated Car Care, featuring the ARCA Menards East Series. That race starts at 6 p.m. No spectators for that, as we had mentioned. And I do believe that race is streaming on NBCSports.com/Gold Pass or something, and it's a pay service, but there is a free trial. But I think you have to put in your credit card information, but you get a free trial there, I think through like the 30th, so you can watch that race for free. Quotes
ish.
Yes.
Just be sure to cancel.
There you go. That's Saturday night at 6 o'clock. Sandusky Speedway, it was supposed to be $1 admission, $1 hot dogs, $1 beer, $1 Pepsi night. Well, I guess if you go out or you make a hot dog and you sell it to your buddy there for $1, that'd be the only way that's going to happen. No spectators there as far as I know. Pure Stocks, Renegades, Beginner Stocks. Pit gate opens at 2, racing at 6 p.m. at Sandusky Speedway as well. So that's, I believe, their third week as well without fans. And Chris wants to come on so that he can win his battle against the state. Again, if you want to help out your local racetrack, get fans in the stands. It's not the track's decision. It's not, I guess, from what I was talking to one of the promoters, it's not the local counties. Well, it kind of is their decision, but they're going off what the governor's advice is. So ultimately, it's the state. You need to contact the state.
Scott, does Chris still have the logon information? If he does, we can give him 5 minutes. And he can share his knowledge with the rest of the racetracks that are watching.
Yeah, I guess we got time. We're early here. I'll shoot him it real quick. Oh, look, I'm watching us.
Wow.
I see us over there. Let's do this. Copy. And there. It's in the, Chris, if you're still listening, it's in the Dirty 30 group. If you want to pop on here for a minute. Also racing Saturday night.
And Chris, you'll be on the clock. You've got 5 minutes.
Oh, he doesn't like to talk. I don't know what you're talking about. He doesn't say much. Oakshade Raceway in action with a full show. Their third week without spectators. Late model sportsman, bombers, and compacts all back in action. Gates open at 3, racing at 7. Pit pass is $30. And again,
racers, encourage your friends to come along.
And even if you're not with a car officially, and you say you're with a car,
you can be with my car.
There you go, because you don't have to come at the same time. Like I think it has been the past few weeks.
I think the first week you had to come in with the car. Last week they relaxed that a bit. So this week, yep, it'll be relaxed. And
so there you go.
Tell them you're with the 35 car.
And I believe that is also at Attica as well. So, but you didn't hear it from us. There's a guy here. Who's
Really?
that?
Oh,
What's up, gentlemen?
Chris Mize, Sandusky Speedway extraordinaire.
Chris.
What's going on here?
Does this mean I'm going to win against the state?
I don't know. Are you racing them this weekend?
We've been racing them for 5 weeks, Scott.
Talk to us, brother. Tell us what you've learned.
Here's what I've learned. Your local health departments in Ohio can make all the decisions they want, but if Columbus doesn't like them or somebody talks loud enough and it goes to the governor and what used to be our health director, Amy Acton, will go to the health department and tell them, no, you change them into spectator sport, and spectator sports aren't going to have fans for, maybe the end of July. So we got our health department working on it. Our Pete Shade from Erie County Health Department, along with DJ Swearingen, a congressman, and we're real close. I mean, Cedar Point's allowed to open up June 19th. Kalahari, all the water parks around here, June 19th. So I've kind of been told for the 20th, we're pretty much sure we're going to have fans. But, I learned something about all this, guys. Racetracks must be the breeding ground for the coronavirus. These riots and protests and everything else aren't. I don't know.
It could
I
happen.
don't get it.
You guys had some pretty bad weather out there yesterday. Any issues with the track?
Yeah, a few issues. We got some of it straightened out tonight before I got home. Fix the rest of it tomorrow. Minor issues compared to what went on downtown Sandusky. I feel bad for the State Theater people. We
That was terrible.
Pretty much lost that building. Company I help works just tearing down the Cook building right around the corner. So I was down there last night in case machines were needed, and yeah, it's bad. That's a long history, that went down the drain last night. So I mean, we feel bad for them. Erie County's taking a hit. I mean, this must be our year to take a hit. I tell you. Here's the thing. I feel bad for Rex and John Boers over at Attica. I've been in that position not long ago where you're told you're allowed fans and you gear up for it, and you can't have them. They call and say, well, sorry. And the problem is there was a page, I don't know if you guys are aware of this in Ohio, there was a page called the Dispute Resolution page, which was a grievance page, basically. And if another company's doing something and you're in the same, like racing, if let's just say Toledo's racing with fans and everybody else in the state of Ohio, but I guess us and Attica and Oakshade aren't, we could file a grievance in dispute resolution page. It would be heard, and either everybody shuts down or everybody has fans. Well, that's been disappeared for 3 weeks. It's been dissolved. You can't file a grievance. The COVID-19 people, I don't know if they waited outside Walmart or where and said, you want to answer a call line? And they said, yeah, and hired them, but they didn't even know. When I called down there, me and Doug Dock both had probably 20 calls into them. Oh, the COVID-19, the dispute resolution, it's working, and you can hear them typing. They say, I'm going to have a supervisor call you back. No call back. Then I was finally told that yesterday that this exact quote, all essential companies are working, so the page was dissolved. There's not an essential company shut down, but it is what it is. More government red tape. Thank God we got, our health administrator that I've talked to today, pushing on our side in Columbus. The problem is our Dr. Acton resigned abruptly.
Was that
today.
your fault?
I wish. I wish it was.
Now, do you expect any changes with her gone?
She's not gone. She's still the chief advisor of the COVID-19. So I believe they're taking some heat off her and the lawsuits that are pending. And the other guy that stepped up is a lawyer. So no, you're going from one to the other. So I don't think it'll.
Now you've got an attorney. Now you've got an attorney making health decisions. Well,
Yeah.
that sounds like the government.
Hey, he might have a better shot at it than the CDC, Ron. And, but I congratulate all these tracks that are running with fans, and it's I applaud them. All I can ask them to do is please abide by some of these they're not playing. Please abide by some of these regulations. As we guys were talking earlier, I mean, Ace Speedway, I feel for them, but I don't. I mean, they bootlegged off. They didn't follow any. I mean, we all seen the pictures. We all seen what was going on. They didn't follow any of the guidelines set forth. And I get it. You can call it a protest. You call it. I was going to call it a wedding reception. And for all the hard work that we put in, I was. I even asked Erie County. I did go to Erie County, and I said, hey. Me and my wife, Debbie, have never had a wedding reception in the last 12 years since we've been married. What are you saying? If I have a wedding reception, I'm allowed 300 guests, correct? Yes. And I says, and I don't like bands for entertainment. So if I want different entertainment, I can pick it, right? And he says, yes. Well, I choose racing. I'm going to have racing as my entertainment. I'm going to have 300 acquaintances to my wedding reception. And he says, I can't authorize that, and I wouldn't advise it, but I can't. And what it comes down to is I understand the frustration. Trust me, at Sandusky, we understand it more than anybody. But if you go on bootleg these shows, do stuff you're not supposed to do, the problem is you can ruin the hard work that you've done the last 4 weeks and the fighting that, me and Doug Dock tirelessly has been. There's probably some state officials and local officials probably don't want to ever hear our names again, but I mean, everything you worked hard for, you threw away. And what people better understand is not only that, every other racetrack fighting in your position, like Oakshade, like Attica, you set them back. You set them back. And so we'll go by the guidelines and the rules that are set forth. We won't like them. We'll keep fighting, and we'll have fans by the 20th, but that doesn't help the 3 races that we lost revenue on, just like Attica, just like Oakshade, and the rest of the racetracks.
Now, you've been in contact with other promoters, all around the state, and you guys are kind of all trying to figure this out and working together from best I can tell. I guess some of them are trying to work together.
Some of them.
That was
I tell you right now, I got a little chapped over that. Administrator told me why. The health administrator told me today why. A track called, and when we were allowed fans for the 30th, and screamed at the state several times in an hour, which they took it up to Acton's committee, which took it to Acton, which took it to DeWine. And unfortunately, hey, they know who we are because Governor DeWine in the Tuesday afternoon conference calls with every health department in Ohio named us and said Sandusky Speedway will not have fans. I'll be there to shut them down with the task force. If they do, they're a spectator sport, and that's where we sat. So this bull crap of the state of Ohio is on their press conferences and they're saying we leave it up to your local health department's not true, and that might have happened with Attica. It might not have. For the most part, they're leaving some of the tracks alone, some of the health departments alone, and on other sides they're not. And I don't know if that's what's happening with Oakshade with their health department. And there's no recourse to it, guys, of you no longer have a grievance page. You no longer, you got congressmen and that can go in and fight for you, but they don't make the decisions. And, I put something up the other day and sore subject, but it's pretty sad when you have appointed officials that have more power than some elected officials, even in a state of emergency.
True story.
And these orders that have been signed the last 8 weeks in Ohio, like the extension of the stay-at-home order, gathering attendance, have been done on a Friday night between 8 and 11 o'clock. And that's not transparency. I was all on board. You guys know that in the beginning of this, but there's no transparency in our government now. I see the Confederate flag is banned from NASCAR, which, Ron, I agree with you. They just alienated every fan base that they had. What
The
was
strongest part of it, for sure.
Now you can take that flag in whatever meaning you want. I take it as history, whether you like it or not. There's all kinds of history we don't like and like. That means then we should ban all flags at a NASCAR track or wherever, except for the state flag or the American flag. And
Chris,
unfortunately,
the vast majority of the fans see the Confederate flag as a sign of Southern pride. They don't see it. They don't see it as anything else.
And unfortunately, there's none of us that lived in that time period.
Well, Ron's close.
Yeah, and I don't agree with what they did. I've not been a big NASCAR supporter through the years. I put a post up today that your local short tracks don't, associate with NASCAR and aren't NASCAR in their decisions. Please support your local short tracks because we have no play in what their decisions are. Don't take it out on us. Every time NASCAR decides to do a dumb move like this or to try to be politically correct, it backfires on them. And I tell you what,
they step all over themselves.
Yeah, and it's a trickle-down effect. People that aren't really familiar with racing much might want to go see something like that. Well, it reflects on your local short track. And NASCAR has not helped short track racing in years. And the guy said it earlier tonight. NASCAR's become, more of a how big a checkbook you got than how much talent you got. And I agree. Bubba Wallace has a right of freedom of speech, just like anybody
Absolutely.
else. And I'm all for that. But because Bubba Wallace feels that, that's fine. The guy standing on the next team over might feel different. What about his freedom of speech?
Exactly.
And it trickles right down to what we're going through at Sandusky, where, in my opinion, there's control right now. Things are shit. I realize this virus, they can say it's flaring back up, but when you go from testing, example, 4,000 people a week, 4 weeks ago, now you're testing 60,000 a week. What the hell did they think was going to happen? Right. It's all smoke and mirrors right now.
All right, let's not get into all this stuff. Trying to get back on topic here. You're thinking fans back in the stands June 20th.
Here's what I was told. June 20th. I was told that this morning. If Cedar Point is allowed to have people in and open up in the water parks in Erie County, I should be allowed to have fans. Now that come out of the health administrator's mouth. Whether that happens,
do you believe that pertains just to your county or counties across the state?
I believe that if it should go across state, in my opinion. My opinion don't count, but I believe this, Ron. We do have a lawyer on retainer right now. If this doesn't happen and other tracks are pinned back like we are, I'd like them to get a hold of it, and we will file a class action lawsuit.
Absolutely.
Well, there are some tracks that are running with fans. Wayne County Speedway and is it Muller? Is that
Muller
the one?
is, yeah.
Where they had court order.
Yeah, well, Brush Creek.
That's what I'm thinking of. Brush Creek.
Yeah, I mean, Steve did a hell of a job down there. I'd like to hire him, to represent us. But Hilltop Speedway is still not allowed fans. And they're how many miles from Wayne County? I mean, just a different county. We've talked and aspirated every point we could to the point where my wife's probably ready to divorce me from spending so much time on this. That and here's the problem, Scott, and I'm not getting off because this retains to racing. And I'm sure other tracks have ran into this. We've called them and said, so you would rather us sue you and win than to sit and mitigate this right now to where, that's what you're going to have to do. Well, if we sue and we win, let's just example $1 million. There's going to be a lot of racers out there right now going, Yeah, Sandusky won. And 3 weeks from now, they're going to go, yeah, they won taxpayer money. Who the hell's paying for it? And that's my point. So, but we'll go that option. We will go that option, and any other track that's down, we'll invite them and have a class action lawsuit. It's time to put the fans in. If you give a track 100% capacity, 100% capacity with social distancing, the best any track's going to do, if they're doing it right, even with families together, 65%, maybe push 70% capacity. So at 100% capacity, you're still not getting a true 100% capacity. And this is what my argument was to all these people. We want 50%. Hell, I wanted 30%. I still can't get it. But Menard's allowed to have 500 people in their store, so is Walmart. But we'll win this fight, and hopefully by the 20th, we will have fans for a modified show and start in. And we are, just so everybody knows, high milers is a big question coming up. I mean, we're middle of June. We are looking at some different options because they did close the border down. I don't know if you guys seen that. Canadian border's closed now until the end of July. It was supposed to open up 20th or 23rd of this month. So we're looking at different options to move forward on that, and we'll be all right. You see, I'm a lot calmer tonight than I have been before.
So are you going to be turning away anybody that wants a pit pass? Are you limiting the pit passes Saturday night at Sandusky?
Listen.
Or am I putting you on the spot there? You'd rather not answer that? I understand.
You got to be with the crew.
Okay.
So there's a lot of people that come with 2-3 people.
There might be some people with my crew that show up there. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's yes. and you got to watch how you do that. And I know some tracks are getting in trouble because, if you got 100 cars in the pits and you're allowed 10 people, that's 1,000 people, and you got 1,500 people in your pits, you're in violation. So you really, it's a bunch of bullcrap. There's fine lines that you have to walk. So you got to tell 500 people at $30 a piece, which is $15,000. Now, when you're bleeding to death, it's a hard line to walk, but they're not playing. They're not playing, and unfortunately, auto racing is somehow. I got a feeling I know why. And it's about 20 miles south of us. Set the stage early in the game, but
yeah, buddy.
I mean, I was very that set the stage for auto racing in Ohio. But I understand his points, but they're not playing with us for some reason. And I think, we're in the crosshairs. So I wish every track that's allowed fans good luck. They're not messed with. I wish Pam up at Oakshade, all the luck in the world to get her fans in. I'm sure she needs it. I really feel bad for Rex and John at Attica and, Hilltop. But all you other people that got fans, God bless you. I hope you guys hit home runs because we need it in short track racing.
And I've been told that the health departments are monitoring the track's social media, not just tracks, but, everybody's social media to make sure that everybody's, following the guidelines.
That's a funny story, Scott.
Oh, jeez.
There was a newspaper article Kevin did a week or two ago. He talked to the reporter from Sandusky Register. I never talked to the guy, but I was quoted in the paper a couple times from our Facebook Lives. And
really,
as I was talking to Pete Shade today, the health administrator for Erie County Health Department, I says, Pete, we've said nothing but good things about you guys. We don't want a bad relationship. He goes, I know, I watch it. So the government is watching social media.
Big Brother is everywhere.
Yeah, they're watching your face. Our congressman sees it. Everybody, they're watching the Facebook Lives. They're watching what you post on Facebook at racetracks. I mean, John Chapman at Midville had a post up. He was allowed fans, and then it got yanked. And
seems to happen quite a bit.
They called him up. The Tuscarawas Health Department called him up. Said, "Hey, listen, take that down right now. You're not doing it. I'm sorry. Take that down. You're not having fans. Take that down right now." Now, that's a borderline freedom of speech issue, but whatever. they're watching everything we do, and I've never seen racing under the gun so much as it is right now.
Definitely weird times.
And I
fighting to go racing.
Listen, if you're out there listening to this and you're a fan, if your track can't have fans, drive the extra 20, 40 miles and go support a place that can have fans. That's the only way we're going to survive. And the days of sitting on Facebook and say, yeah, this, that, and the other, and the live stream sitting at home watching it from your couch, that isn't getting it now because we're half season behind. You need to go support these tracks that are allowed fans. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's dirt, asphalt, what. Go support the local short track, because if you don't, and this keeps up, there's going to be about half of us left going into 2021.
Any updates on the sale of the track?
Nope.
Okay.
Look at the times. I anticipate right now, I'll be honest with you guys, I anticipate we will be running a 2021 season for sure.
So this guy in the middle here, a hangover race winner.
Hangover race once again. So, that's, that anything can change. You know how that goes. Somebody can walk in with the right amount of money tomorrow, but I don't anticipate it for, listen, not just in racing, it's going to take 2-3 years to get over what we just went through. And I feel in racing, it's going to take racetracks 2 to 3 years to recover from the crap we just went through.
I believe it.
All
right, man. Well, we got
guys. I appreciate you. Thanks a lot, guys.
We've used up our 5 minutes.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Chris Mize, race director over there at Sandusky Speedway. I know he's stressed out. I know all the promoters around here are stressed out trying to stuff they've never dealt with before, trying to get racing. Trying to have the right to go racing or hold a race. It hasn't been done before. You haven't had to fight for that. So anyway.
A lot of those folks are apolitical, Scott.
Yeah, they're not politicians. There's this whole racing and politics. I don't like the mixing of it.
Right.
It's too polarizing. How about we listen to something that's not too polarizing, and it helps us prepare for this weekend if we are going to a track and we are going to be in the pits, since that seems to be the only way you're going to be at a track this weekend.
Yeah.
It's time for the weekend weather pit stop with Ryan Weekman.
Here is your weekend weather pit stop forecast. Looking ahead to Friday at the Raceway at Attica. Temperatures, they'll be pleasant in the upper 70s, near 80 degrees in the afternoon. By race time, it'll cool off a bit back down into the 60s. It should stay dry, though. Similar conditions as far as dry on Saturday. We've got Toledo Speedway, Sandusky Speedway, and Oakshade. That'll have some races going on. Looks dry, but a breeze picks up off the lake. Not as warm. Be prepared for temperatures that'll be in the 60s, dropping down into the 50s with a breeze coming in off the lake. For WTOL 11, I'm First Alert meteorologist Ryan Weekman.
It's nice having him back. Even he's doing his stuff from home too, so everything's different. Next week on the show, we are going to welcome back Ryan Missler. There's been some rumblings. He picked up a car to go racing again last weekend. I think he picked up a car. That's about all I know. We'll talk to him about that and what he's going to be doing here. But he'll be our guest next week on the show. Looking forward to speaking with Ryan Missler. Unfortunately,
hopefully we have 2 guests.
2 guests. Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, well, we'll see.
And
we've been hoping that he would be on for a couple of weeks now. So
yeah. Okay. Well, maybe with the new developments that maybe they'll be ready to make that announcement. I did talk to him a little bit. So
really,
I think after last week's show.
Right.
But yeah, they're still trying to figure things out, and that's all I can say about that. Otherwise, we'll no longer be held. I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm trying to say. We've been talking too long. Let's get the hell out of here. Thanks again to Ron Miller Race Cars. Make sure to support our sponsors. Give Ron a call, 856-722-3223. That's 856-RACE. Big D's Pizza out there in Clyde, 419-547-1444. Yeah, right there in front of Ron. Also, thanks to Oakshade Raceway, racing every Saturday night, even when there's no fans. It still happens.
Oh yeah, there they are.
Fastest meet to race. Also, Kester Mowing.
Whoops.
Call
Forgot
Steve at 419-466-3801 for all your yard needs, including landscaping, seeding, fertilizing, mowing, and so much more.
So much more.
I can read that. There's the Ron Miller one. I did them out of order. So there you go. Again, don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter at Hammer Report. At Hammer Report. That's our Twitter handle.
Right.
Make sure to listen to us on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Google Play, whatever. We appreciate all that stuff. It helps us out. Again, we'll be back next week, 7 o'clock. And I know it seems I hate talking about the are we going to have fans or not have fans, because it's like all we talk about anymore. And
it's important.
Fans are getting restless, and racers want fans, because I figured it'd be one of these last 2 weeks I would actually win a race and there'd be no fans to see it. So it'd be like if a tree fell in the woods and nobody was there to see it. Did it make any sound? Did it actually happen? I don't know. I guess that's a terrible analogy, but anyway, we'll be back.
Close enough, Scott.
We'll be back next week with Ryan Missler as our guest and the latest updates and everything going on in the world of racing.
What?
I'm looking. I don't know which one of these is our close here. I think this is it. Okay, we're leaving now. Good night, Ron.
Good night, Scott.
We'll see you next week.
You have been listening to the Hammer Down Racing Report from the Ron Miller Race Car Studio. Listen on demand on iHeartRadio.